Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. And today we're looking at Pro Football Focus's own Austin Gale, the best mustache in the business. Hey, best beard in the business right here, though. Going to be taking a look at his, but what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you are looking for my full positional rankings, my full big board, if you like team-specific 7-round mock drafts, go ahead, join the Patreon. Links in the description. Let's go ahead, get into this sucker. By the way, thumbnail. It's going to be nice. Let's look at how he did this. All right, I don't know why I was reading that. Jacksonville Jaguars, though, they're going, Aiden Hutchinson. I almost said Austin Gale one more time. So, again, I think this pick will come down to, obviously, I think Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeaux, or Evan Neal. I think Evan Neal is a nice-looking dark horse. Just because I think pairing him up with Walker Little, gives you a very promising young tackle duo for the future for Trevor Lawrence. But also, pass rush, it should kind of be, should be addressed. Obviously, Josh Allen just isn't enough by himself. Smoot's fine. He's a good, he's a fine piece there, but you do need more. Clavon Chazon didn't work out, and getting a guy like Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeaux would be top notch as well. So obviously, I'm not gonna harp too much on this. I think there's a lot of good options for this first overall pick, which this usually means Kayvon Thibodeaux is Detroit's pick. In fact, he is their pick. So take a look at this real quick. So, Kayvon Thibodeaux earned a 91.3 PFF pass rushing grade that ranked 4th among all Power 5 edges in 2021, behind only Aiden Hutchinson, South Carolina's Kingsley Enagbare, baby, and then Oklahoma's Nick Bonito, who is a monster in his own right. It's just going to be interesting when it comes to Nick Bonito. I think he is... he's not going to fit every defense. You're going to have a specific role in mind or even already on your roster for that. So, yeah. But KT, good pick here for Detroit. Just take best players available. Houston continues to do that by taking Evan Neal. He's talking about that he's kind of like in this Tristan Wirfs plane of existence, which is great. I think that just cements that this cat's going to be a top 3 pick. I love Evan Neal, man. I love Evan Neal. Houston, they could use a guy like that on the offensive line. All right, so this is typically where the draft can get interesting with the Jets pick. Or it's probably Derek Stingley. It's Derek Stingley. Jets fans, I already know you hate it. I think it's a fine pick. The guy's a good athlete, great athlete. He's probably going to test out as the best athlete at the corner position in this draft. But I get it. I understand in terms of the injury concerns. So a lot needs to be answered during the combine. Is he healthy? And people always say, oh, his best play Cambridge freshman season. I disagree with that. I think we saw the most ball skills, obviously, his freshman season, but during a sophomore campaign, I think is when you were starting to see more of the lockdown potential. And it was just a weird year in 2020. The LSU, they were kind of in this down year, coming off the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase national championship game. They were just gutted at talent. He was hurt for parts of the year, so it was kind of a weird year. And then obviously this year he got hurt, didn't really play too much. He was almost hurt immediately out the gate. So I get the injury concerns. I don't know if I want to say injury prone just yet. I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot's gonna matter on that combine, on that medical. Are the ankle injuries? Is this something that's like gonna be like a problem in the future? Does he got glass ankles? Is this Achilles we're talking about? So, I understand, but I mean, there's also a reason why people are projecting this cat at pick 4 too. So, New York Giants, they go Ikem Ekwonu. Giants, they need offensive line help. Icky, man, he's a top 10 pick to me, man. I love this cat. This guy loves to bury guys in the run game. Pass protection got a lot better this year for him. Kyle Hamilton, this is the first curveball in this mock. So if you don't love the quarterback class and you're Carolina, then you probably don't go in on the quarterback class. You don't have a pick till like, what, 107 or 106, something like that. You only have this pick inside the top 100. And I think it's kind of making it count when you're just taking the best player available if it's Kyle Hamilton. I mean, what more can you ask for outside of just making this pick count, making it matter? Kyle Hamilton helps with that. He's, some would say, almost a sure thing. No one's ever a sure thing, but he's as close to a sure thing at safety as a safety prospect as you'll get. So, might not necessarily be a position of need, but it is definitely great value here. Pairing him up with Jeremy Chin, just terrifying. The Giants, they go George Karlaftis. This is a popular pick for a lot of people, just because it just makes a ton of sense. You know the Giants need offensive line desperately. You know on the other side of the ball they need pass rush desperately, and Karlaftis is, for a lot of people, the third pass rusher off the board. All right, let's keep it rolling. Atlanta Falcons go Charles Cross. This one I haven't seen before. I kind of like it. I understand that Caleb McGarry, man, you probably want to quit on him. He's not developed, and at this point, you feel like you want to at least see signs of life, signs of development, and you just don't with McGarry. So you bring in Cross, guy's super athletic, who played extremely well in the SEC this year. And yeah, you go ahead, plug him in there at the right side. You kind of hope other parts of the offensive line get better, mainly like a Jalen Mayfield. I think Matt Hennessy has shown bits and pieces of development. I still think you're like hoping he just ends up as one of the better centers in the league. But again, you're hoping at that point. But yeah, this is interesting. I haven't seen I haven't really seen this in any mocks where they go tackle. Denver Broncos, they go Sam Howell. He is the top quarterback for PFF. I think even Mike Renner said he can see why. He could see the NFL really just kind of falling back in love with this cat. There's a reason why he was one of the top quarterback prospects going into the season. I've gone to bat for him since day one. I've stood by him. This is like Titanic, man, except for I'm Rose and I'm never going to let go. Sam Howell, I know what you're capable of. And I know the crap you were dealing with in North Carolina this year, unfortunately. And to be fair, I thought he looked pretty solid despite a lack of a supporting cast around him. So Denver needs a quarterback. Or really, that is like prime what they need. There's not a lot of needs on Denver except for quarterback, the most important position on the roster. Who's this? I think Jets are the next pick here. They go Drake London. This is interesting. Drake London being the top receiver off the board here. I still lean Garrett Wilson at this point. Garrett Wilson's my top wide receiver. Drake London definitely. I did decide to move him up a little bit with Jameson Williams having the ACL injury, moving him down. Berks is a guy you just got to kind of wait out and see how he tests out at the combine. I think he's going to test out super freaky, and I think there's a good chance, man, Berks, when it's all said and done, could be wide receiver 1 in this class. I think that's the thing. A lot of people, they kind of have the same like 5 to 6 receivers in mind. It's just a different different shuffle. But for me, London it's not even necessarily that he's too similar to Corey Davis, because he's not. They're both big receivers, but London has so much more potential. He seems to be better at the contested catch. He's better after the catch, so it's like they're not necessarily the same prospect. They're just big receivers. So maybe not. Maybe this might work. I like London. I like London a lot. Washington football team, they go Matt Corral. Listen, for me, Matt Corral ain't a first-round quarterback. The more I look at this quarterback class, the more I fall out of love with Matt Corral. Even worse, the cat won't even get a Senior Bowl. We won't see this guy again till the combine, which is terrible. While like guys like Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, they're going to get opportunities. Carson Strong, they're going to get that opportunity at the Senior Bowl to help elevate their stock. Matt Corral, he's kind of just stagnant at this point. You know, what we saw this past couple of years, that's kind of what you're going to get from him, and you're going to have to make a judgment based on that. Do you think he's more than just this RPO monster? Nate Tice's words, not my own. Is he more than this RPO monster we saw at Ole Miss? And you're going to have to ask yourself that honestly. And for me, I feel better about him day 2. I don't know if he's more than just that. But I do like the arm. I don't think necessarily it's as good as good arm. I don't think the arm talent's as good as a guy like, obviously, Sam Howell. I think Malik Willis, his arm has a lot more potential. We've seen him make all kinds of off-platform throws. We've seen now with his lower body mechanics getting a lot better that he's able to put the ball placement is very nice when it comes to Malik Willis. That's the thing. Like with Malik Willis, we're talking decision making. I don't think accuracy is an issue when it comes to Malik Willis, but yeah, I get Washington near a quarterback. Ahmad Gardner going to the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings, they have one of the worst cornerback rooms in football, if not the worst. So grabbing more talent there would be nice. Ahmad Gardner, probably going to be a top 10 prospect for me when it's all said and done. He will be at the Senior Bowl, though, as well. Cleveland Browns, Garrett Wilson, another very popular pick of many people. I get the idea. Hey, Baker, this is your 5th year. We're going to give you no excuses. We're going to give you as many weapons as possible. We're going to let you get healthy. So, Garrett Wilson being the top receiver for a lot of people, usually going here to Cleveland. Trent McDuffie going to the Baltimore Ravens. I don't disagree with the position. I just don't know if Trent McDuffie's a good scheme fit for Baltimore. That's my only question. But I do like Trent McDuffie a whole lot. He's been shut down, locked down, whatever the heck you want to call it, since he stepped foot on campus. The guy's good. Baltimore going corner, I think, makes a ton of sense as well. It's just, I think the scheme fit's not that good. And then the Philadelphia Eagles, we could probably look at both their picks here. Nakobe Dean and Kyer Elam being the picks. Linebacker makes a ton of sense just because, hey, the Eagles, they have 3 first-round picks. What are they going to use it on? Kyer Elam, interesting that he's the next top guy rather than Andrew Booth. Even PFF here, they talk about how his down year was mainly because of costly penalties. And, I mean, I mean, you could go back to the Samford game, or the Samford game. It's like he should have played a whole lot better against competition of that level. You know, I think he allowed like 4 receptions on 6 targets. Like overall, like if you look at the rest of these corners, that people are considered first rounders, he definitely had the more down year. I mean, I guess you could throw Derek Stanley up in there too, but he definitely had one of the more down years of the top corners in this class. But the guy is like, he has the length, the size to be one of these maybe elite shutdown corners. Ooh, that you hear about. Like, he has those traits. Nakobe Dean is just a good pick. We got Devin Lloyd going to Los Angeles Chargers. The Kenneth Murray project is over in LA. They moved him to edge midway through the season, and he wasn't that good. So I think they're just probably out on Kenneth Murray at this point. So Devin Lloyd, I kind of like him stuffing him in the middle of the defense. If you don't want to go with like a Jordan Davis or like someone along the defensive line to help with the running game, then yeah, grabbing Devin Lloyd would be huge. I mean, when the Raiders are able to run on you, one of the worst offensive lines in football, when they're able to run the football effectively, I think they had their longest run play of the year in that Chargers game. Then yeah, your run defense needs some help, and Devin Lloyd definitely does that. The New Orleans Saints go Desmond Ridder. Listen, I'm not opposed to seeing Ridder in the first round. I still think maybe late first round the best. Like I get it. I get it with Desmond Ridder. You know what? After the playoff game, where a lot of people were like, he didn't even look that good. It's like, well, the play calling was very uninspiring in the first half. A lot of it was just RPO nonsense, and it involved a lot of batted balls. The second half, they kind of let the reins go free a little bit. And, I mean, we saw Desmond Ridder. We saw what the arm talent could be like. Like, he had some beautiful passes. They resulted in drops, but the passes did look good. But, again, he is a guy that has been very inconsistent in terms of his accuracy, his ball placement. I think the mental processing is fine with Ridder. Like, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. The Senior Bowl, I'm very intrigued because, I mean, you're going to be comparing this guy to, well, other potential first round talent. It's Sam Howell, Malik Willis, and Kenny Pickett, and Carson Strong. Some people have Carson Strong as a first rounder as well. So, like, it's going to be very intriguing. So, Desmond Ridder, man, when it's all said and done, could end up being a first round prospect, even to me, who has been a big Desmond Ridder naysayer for a long time. Me personally, I think the Saints, they're going to be in the market for one of these veteran quarterbacks that probably be available via trade, whether it's Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, I guess even Jimmy G. So I think that's more likely what'll happen. New Orleans Saints. Who's next? It's the Philadelphia Eagles. Next pick, they go Jameson Williams. So they just add more speed, more vertical playmaking ability on the outside there. I like the idea of rather getting maybe a receiver with more size. Because, I mean, they went with Devontae Smith last year. Size ain't a thing for him. He's a little bit of a stick, but that stick has done very well this year. And I don't say stick to be disrespectful. I mean, he's thin. He's thin. You know, I wish I was that thin. But yeah, I would think getting a meteor receiver like a Drake London, who's not on the board obviously, but maybe a Treylon Berks might be a bit more ideal if the Eagles do go wide receiver. And then Pittsburgh Steelers, Kenny Pickett, they get the hometown boy. I saw an article today be like the harsh reality that Rudolph will be the 2022 starter. And I was like, really? It's like you don't even think the Steelers will make a run on like a Kirk Cousins or somebody? I just had Kirk Cousins go to the Steelers in my last mock with trades. Like I think the Steelers will be in the market for a quarterback, whether that's in the draft or during the offseason via trade. But Kenny Pickett going back home to Pittsburgh. That's nice. The New England Patriots take Treylon Berks. I think this is fun. Man, this dude's built like a racehorse. Oh, does this feel like something the Patriots would do? I think Chris Olave would probably be a better fit. I think you'd use him in the Nelson Aguilar role, but obviously Olave, he does a bit more for you. But like Berks is different, dude. He's gonna be a mismatched nightmare. He's built different. I don't know. I'm indifferent about this. Chris Olave though going to the Raiders, so I do like the idea of the Raiders taking one of the burners in this class. Whether is it Williams that falls to him or is it Olave? Because I thought this offense, they've just been missing that guy that can consistently separate and stretch the field. I think that's why Waller, on top of injuries for Darren Waller, but that's why he's been pretty ineffective, while the offense at times has been ineffective. Olave would give you just a fabulous route runner altogether. So depending on what the Raiders may be looking for, Olave might actually be a better fit than Williams. Obviously, they tried to fill that hole with Deshaun Jackson, and I don't think that's worked out too well. It's looked good at parts, but I still think it's filling that Henry Ruggs role is still needs some work. Tyler Linderbaum going to the Arizona Cardinals. So this is a cat that I'm assuming he moves to guard with the Cardinals because they got Rodney Hudson there. And the Cardinals, man, they've had some offensive line woes this year, mainly in the form of penalties. Stinking Josh Jones, man, my boy, he's been a culprit at times. Just in a playoff game, we saw a plethora of penalties from Humphreys and Beachum. So I don't know if that's more of a discipline thing, like, because I still like Josh Jones has played good football. It's really penalties that have killed him. So is it maybe in this case like Pugh is potentially retired? He is older, so like I get the value of Tyler Linderbaum at this point. This is way far. I don't think he goes this far. I think he's gonna get drafted a bit earlier than this, but I don't know. Andrew Booth going to the Dallas Cowboys is pretty nice. I think the team does need corner help. They need more guys that could be maybe potential shutdown. I think Booth might be a bit more of the similar to like a Trayvon Diggs than he is to like a shutdown corner. But we have seen Booth go through spurts of where he shuts down opposition. Where he's really struggled, or at least where he really did struggle this year, was NC State, where he had to face size. And is it Emeka Mezi? I think that's his name. I can't remember. He's in this class too. Don't know if he gets drafted though. But where he just had a field day where he was just bodying Booth. But we know athletically this guy's extremely gifted. We know when he's hot, he's hot. He ended the year extremely hot. Last 3 games of the season, 3 interceptions, 3 pass breakups. The dude was good. So, yeah, no, Cowboys ground corner. I don't mind that. The Bengals go Bernhard Ryman out of Central Michigan. So they get a guy that potentially be your right tackle of the future. Or, I mean, you can move Jonah Williams to right tackle. He's played both spots. But Ryman's more of a developmental prospect, I think, at this point. He's only been playing tackle for 2 years, but he's been doing a phenomenal job at that. I think, like, from a skill set, when you look at his skill set, it's on par with what Zach Taylor expects of his offensive lineman. He fits the blocking scheme, I think, very well. The Miami Dolphins, Trevor, Pennant. I have less of a problem with this since all the receivers are off the board at this point, outside of Jahan Dotson, and I don't think I want Jahan Dotson. I think if, like, Olave is gone, then I'm like, all right, fine. Because it'd be nice to get Olave, Garrett Wilson, even Treylon Berks, Drake London. Like, I think though, Jahan Dotson, though, for me is too much of a reach in this area. I don't mind getting Trevor Pennant if he's a guy that soars up boards after the Senior Bowl. But he's a guy that, hey, don't start immediately. You have all that cap space. Use it on veteran talent on the offensive line so you don't have to throw these guys to the fire. And even worse, just have Tua have legit no protection. So, no, I don't mind this. I don't mind this one bit. Stupid 49ers, man. I'm a Dolphins fan, and them Niners, I'm really hoping they get bounced by the Packers this week, because we're here picking 26th. Like, come on. That's really on us, though. Jordan Davis going to the Buffalo Bills. I like this. Linebackers are off the board. Corners, for the most part, are. I think you still got Roger McCreary left. Yeah, I think he's the only one really left on the board in this class. So, like, you could go him. Maybe you don't feel like he's a good scheme fit for your coverage. Jordan Davis, good. He's going to be an elite run stuffer with this potential pass rush and upside. He's going to be the meat and potatoes to the more thunder and lightning that is Ed Oliver. So I don't mind. It's not sexy, but for me, I think it's good. David Ajabo going to the Detroit Lions, who just got Kayvon Thibodeau. I know that Austin Gale is this, like, take value regardless of need. It doesn't matter, especially pass rush. He's like, you can never have too many pass rushers. So I know this is his mentality, because you might be like, hey, oh man, they literally drafted edge twice in the first round. What? I mean, to be fair, like a guy like Trey Flowers probably not long for the roster. It could be a cap casualty sometime this year, maybe next year. They got Romeo Akawara, they got Julian Akawara, but I don't know, man. Maybe you double dip. Like, I get the value. Like, Ojabo's really good value at 28. It just doesn't. I know it doesn't feel good. I agree with you guys. It doesn't feel great, but like, I understand why he did this. Jermaine Johnson go to the Kansas City Chiefs. Jermaine Johnson, I think, is one of these spag type of guys, big athletic pass rushers. So I could see that happening. Roger McCreary going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa, they like them Auburn corners. They have Carlton Davis. They have Jamil Dean. Carlton Davis, speaking of which, free agent. So grabbing more cornerback depth, probably in the books. Myjah Sanders going to Tennessee Titans. It's good to see Myjah Sanders back in the first round. It's going to be so fun to see where all these edge talent, where everyone has them ranked. It's going to be wild. But Harold Landry is a free agent. They could bring him back. I think they should bring him back. He's been so good for that team. But grabbing some legit, like, pass rush just in case that happens. It's not a bad idea. You love the length and the explosiveness of a guy like Sanders, which could easily go in the first round. I think in different edge classes probably would. And then Jahan Dotson going to the Packers. This is just way better. Way better Amari Rodgers. Amari Rodgers is a guy that hasn't really even made a dent as a receiver or even in special teams. I would say he's actually done pretty poorly in special teams. But Jahan Dotson, man, he's the guy that definitely gives you that outside presence. I'm trying to read here. If Aaron Rodgers decides to look past his relationship with the front office, Chase Ring with Devontae. Okay, I think this is like if Aaron Rodgers is retained as well with Devontae Adams. Dude, Devontae and Dotson would be scary. And then maybe Rodgers emerges as the slot threat they thought he would be. But you still got guys like Alan Lazard and MVS. So that's fine as well. But yeah, no, I kind of like this. I like this. Overall, this mock draft, I'll say it. It's interesting. There's parts I like. I like seeing Myjah Sanders in the first round. Ajabo, a bit rich. For me, I get the whole, hey, it's value. And pass rush, you can never have too many pass rushers, but whew, that's a tough glass of water to drink, if you know what I'm saying. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead and do that YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.